It's time for Geocache Talk. Whether you are at work, in the car, or wherever you are, we hope you enjoy this show about the great sport of geocaching. If you're watching live on YouTube, you can be part of the adventure tonight in the chat room and participate with others as they watch the show. If you are listening later, please give it a like and subscribe on your favorite podcasting app so that you can get all of the weekly Geocache Talk goodness. If you would like to become a patron, click on the Become a Patron link on the front page of the Geocache Talk website or head over to patreon.com/Geocache Talk for more details. Patrons get the now famous blackout coins and other geocaching items during the year. Support levels start as low as the Bison Tube level, which is only $3 a month.
All right. Thank you to Derek, Baker 6 Clan, for our new opening, and our featured patrons, FS Sabero, Georic, Cash Addict Mel, Sir Drumalot, Janice, Tricassius, Rugels, EJK PBR, Albedo 0.39, Purple Turtles 3, and our new patrons, Action Trinity and TKD Scouter. All right. Well, let's jump right in to show 243 as we welcome to the show Rich and Hinako, a.k.a. Komikino and the Kid. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having us on. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Well, it'll be fun. We're going to do a little bit of news first, and you can obviously chime in and say anything you would like, but then we'll get into the meat of the show here in a minute. So first we got some news. Now, I don't know, Jesse, we might have to do, we'll do the regular. That's regular news. That is that the Mingo Madness Mega is only 20 days away.
It's so close.
we leave. For me, I leave 2 weeks from Wednesday. So,
oh my gosh,
get the bag out and start packing because it's getting close. So,
you don't pack until like Tuesday night. Come on now. What?
No, I do that. I'm old and I need to do it early because if I don't, I will forget something guaranteed. So I want to start packing early. Not a lot, but I gotta get, gotta get situated. So
right.
But we actually have some more breaking news. So I'm going to do the other bumper. Here we go. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Because I get to say it. So Jesse, take it away.
Well, I'm just going to give a hint.
Okay. Oh, ooh, look at that.
I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm not going to say that there's, about 130 new caches out there, that they're puzzles, and that they kind of look like stuff. But I can't say Geoart, right? I'm not allowed to say that?
You can.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah, the new Geoart just came live. So, and, you could wait till the last second to publish the Geoart, but I'm pretty sure people want to solve the puzzles, have a little head start on solving the puzzles. So, and they may be a little tricky. They're not as give me as you're used to for Geoart. So now I'm sure we'll get blasted and people will say those are easy. Well, they're not that hard. Come on, they're Geoart. We want people to find them. And we also know that after the first few people solve them, there'll be a list floating around. We know how Geoart works.
Probably so.
What's the answer? Yeah, it's B. The answer is B to all of them.
42.
42, yes. Yeah. No, the Geoart is out. It's 128 of them. We teased people originally there's going to be about 150. Well, it still has to fit. There's still a 2-mile rule. So, but the Mingo Madness crew was very diligent about getting out and talking to the community. And this is where they were okay with it being.
Yeah.
So it's 128. That seems like a weird number. That's not part of the puzzle. It's 128. That's got to mean something. But no, that's out there. There are a whole lot of caches that'll show up. Obviously, it's a mega, right? You expect new caches. But we have the opportunity this time. I think the official number is a whole lot of labs.
A whole lot of labs.
That's the official count. The last I checked, a whole lot of labs.
Yeah, we've got
probably spend all weekend just doing labs, but there's an event to go to also. So
there is, but that also gives me a chance to do this.
Oh no,
Jesse!
Just spilled the beans.
Did you set that up ahead of time, or did you just do that live?
No, I did that separate. I did it so it sounded like I wanted to sound like it was obviously dubbed on purpose, like a kind of a
that's
like
funny.
somebody did a really poor job of dubbing. That was the point of all that.
We were allowed to spill those beans.
We were,
according to the owner, creator, mastermind of the Mingo crew, right? So 20 days left. Get your planning going. Mingo's going to happen. I hope everybody that can safely get there can get there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Tons of. I guess we could talk about some of the events too, right?
Yeah, let's talk briefly about that, and we'll let Rich and Hinako actually jump in here. They feel like they're kind of being left out at the moment, but
it's all good. It's all good. You guys.
The streets are paved with cheese. I like that. No, he's saying that Direwolf says there's no palm trees in Kansas. Au contraire, this is the oasis on the plains. I think it's funny that Colby, and just to let everybody know who's never been to Colby, it's a cute little town. It's It's a great town, but it's not. But they came up with this moniker called the Oasis on the Plains, and they actually had palm trees. Well, they're metal. They're actually being fixed, but they have metal palm trees. But I mean, it's kind of cool. You gotta give them credit for coming up with something kind of kitschy, as it were.
And there are some palm trees there. Normally, there may have been a storm that came through, so hopefully the palm trees will be back in full order, so that it all makes sense when we get there, right?
Yep.
Currently under construction.
Current palm trees are under construction.
Hey, you know what? It takes palm trees a while to grow, so especially when they're made out of metal. So it takes them a while to grow.
Terraviator says, whole lot of labs about 50? No, sir. No.
That would be a lot of labs. That wouldn't be a whole lot of labs.
This is a mega. We're talking, more.
We're saying more. We're not going to give any more information out than that.
More than 50. More than 50.
More than 50. Okay, that's good. So we can't give everything now. There's got to be some surprise when they get in town.
Got to be some surprises.
But real quickly, because we want to get into our show, right? But you want to real quickly. So all the events are live that I think are going live around the time. Now, who knows what happens to geocaching, right? But on the 6th, which is Thursday, right? Yeah, Thursday.
Yes, Thursday.
There is a community celebration event.
Yep.
At Jerusalem Badlands State Park.
Yep.
And all of these are in the notes. They'll be on the cache page, and they're on Facebook already. But
Earth Cache Power Trail.
Do what?
It has an Earth Cache Power Trail. That's what I'm calling it.
I think you need more than 8 to be a power trail, but there are 8 new Earth caches.
That's kind of a power trail
at the new park. Yes,
sort of, kind of.
And then Friday's the Welcome to Mingo Madness event. That's an evening event. That's a regular event. Saturday, there's an early event, 6:30 in the morning. Donut event.
Donuts.
That's a regular event. Then obviously on Saturday continues on. There's some big event that day. But we'll skip that part. We don't some mega event that day. And then there's also 2 CETOs. One is on Saturday, one is on Sunday. The GPS maze, somebody will probably want to visit that one as well.
Yeah.
And then there's another community celebration event on Saturday as well. So there's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So multiple events that weekend.
And it's really lining up well for those that want to do a bunch of different types in one day. I don't know, Rich, have you ever tried to do a bunch of cache types in one day?
We did it when we went to the first, it was actually the second block party that we went to like in 2015. I just kind of did them with a random group of people we met up with from California. Remember John? Yeah. And we teamed up with them, and there was like, it was like a geo tour, but we just kind of didn't know at the time because we were so kind of new.
Yeah.
And we just did like that whole geocaching headquarters geo tour thing that they have, which has like 7 or 8 different type of hide types in them.
Yes.
And we did that and didn't know. Then was like years later, check my stats, and it's like, oh, hey, you're the most different types of finds you found was on this day here, which was the geocaching block party. So it was like, unintentionally did it.
Way to go.
That happens.
Yay.
It does happen like that. That just means you're out having fun, and you're not worried about the stats. You're just out there to have fun, and good things happen when you do that. So
yeah, that's what we've done.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into some discussions about you two and your geocaching and your vlogging and everything else. I guess we'll start with Rich. How did you even hear about geocaching?
2010, I was at work, and they allowed us to visit certain websites while we were working, and that was on CNN.com at that time, and there was an article that popped up about geocaching, because at that time was when smartphones were coming out and they had capabilities for GPS, and that you could do things like this. You could play or do geocaching. Yeah. So I read about it and thought, wow, that sounds interesting and fun, and never did anything about it until 3 years later. We were in Idaho, visited my mom, and we were just sitting around the house on a hot summer day, nothing to do, and asked the kid, what do you want to do? Is there anything you want to do? And she's like, I want to go out and find pirate treasure.
That's good. Oh, look at it. You embarrassed her.
And it's like, there's no pirate treasure in Idaho. Wait, what's it? The geocaching thing. So I went online, asked some people some questions on Facebook, and found CGO and downloaded that to my phone. And we were like, let's go.
Off we go.
And CGO is not the most user-friendly program to start off with if you've never used it before or had any direction or guidance on it. So I had no idea what we were doing.
Yeah. The
first cache we went out to find was a virtual, and only thing I really knew about geocaching was finding the container. Look for a container. So we went down to it. We were looking around the statue for the container, couldn't find the container. And it's like, this is silly. We went off and tried to find a couple more that were along the Snake River and stuff, and couldn't find squat.
Oh no!
So it was, and of course, years later, oh, virtual. What do you need to do? Oh, take your picture at it.
Oh gosh, yes.
So that was our first geocaching outing, and it was funny because since we were asking about it and talking to some people about it on Facebook, a friend of mine in Bellevue, she works for the city of Bellevue, and they have a video department down there. And a couple months later, she was doing a special on geocaching in the parks that they have down in Bellevue. And she's like, hey, I know a couple of geocachers. Let's bring them in.
Yeah. That's the two of y'all.
So we get in down there. We're down there. I had maybe found, I don't think we had found any by that time, but I can't, because we couldn't find them that one time. Then it was like about a month or so later when this came up, and we were like, okay, let's go down and see what we can do.
Yeah.
And to show you our noobiness to it, like on CGO, when you have the hint, you can touch it and it would decipher it. I didn't know about that, but I knew like how the ROT 13 code is. So when I was talking to him about it, it's like, it's all in code right here. And you have to match up your letters. So I wrote the whole thing out, and I sat and I ROT 13, the whole smegging thing out. 5 minutes later, here's the answer. Here's the hint we're looking. We need to look for this. So, okay, let's go. We go out there. We get out to where the location is for the cache. And we were like looking around for it and can't find it. And there was somebody from the state parks there with Robin, my friend, and the crew there, and
right.
So I'm like looking around, and I look up at the state parks lady, and I'm like, and she,
oh, she pointed to it.
Oh, found it! Yeah, such great geocachers.
Wow,
terrible. So it was funny, but yeah, that was like our first like real big official find.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until like months after that when we went off to like another park and we tried it again, and then we actually started finding them, and then it went on from there of like, hey, let's go out on the weekend and see if we can find more and more, and it became a big hobby that we do pretty much a lot now.
Yeah, in fact, we're gonna come back and ask some more questions, but I want to intersperse in some of your videos. So I hope Hinako's okay. We're gonna show some videos here.
Oh no,
she might get embarrassed. No, she won't.
When you were small and cute.
She was so cute. Yes. So here we go.
Getting some lag here.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Once in a while, when you're out caching, you're going to find a cache you like so much, you're going to add it to your favorites list. This video here is a collection of our favorite finds.
I like the start to your videos.
Back then, I kind of wanted to have themes.
Yeah.
And then it eventually turned into like the random cache we find video. Like,
yeah, which is fine too, but
yeah.
Sometimes some of the coolest caches are the ones that are hidden right out in plain sight. Where if you're not a geocacher, you're going to miss this stuff. You're not going to pay attention to it.
Look,
you're not going to see it. You're going to miss it. That's why I like this little cache. It's right out in the open. If you don't know what you're looking for, you're going to pass it right up. In fact, you can look right at it and think, that's part of the surroundings. Can you see it?
All right, I got to stop for a minute. So
that was in swim class. So she was in the pool and her hair was all wet. It's like, let's go find the cache. But I know the pool. Let's go in already.
All right, Hinako, let's get your comments here. Do you find that it's? What do you think when you see the old videos? Do you remember? You have good times? Do you remember?
Small child.
Exactly. That's
the way children work.
Yeah. Those early days of caching, though, what are your thoughts on? Did you enjoy your dad filming it, or did you like just put the camera away and let's find a cache?
I'm pretty sure during that time I just wanted to go home. Because I'm pretty sure that was very, like after my synchronized swimming practice, so I was tired.
Right.
There's always time to find a cache, though, kid. There's always time.
Always time. Yeah. So, but still, I don't know. Hopefully, as you look back on some of these memories, that hopefully they were, like you said, they were good memories. But again, you were probably like, let's just get done. Let's just finish.
I just wanted to sleep.
Now, I have two daughters, and they've both grown up caching, kind of like you, right? So one of them's older than you, and one of them's younger than you. So did your dad ever have to bribe you like I had to bribe mine? So when I wanted to go out on a good caching day, and if they were tired, I'd be like, I tell you what, if we go and find 10 today, we'll get ice cream at the end of it. Then they were all about it. They were like, oh yeah, we'll get our 10 and then we'll get our ice cream. Did you ever get bribed when you were young?
I don't think I ever did. Oh, it was always, do you want to do geocaching or do you want to stay home kind of thing?
Did you always choose to go, or did you want to take a break sometimes?
It's sometimes I want to stay home. Sometimes I actually want to go outside and do something instead of staying inside all day.
Yeah. So, there would be times where I'd go out on my own. And then sometimes I would ask her, like, hey, do you want to go caching? And she says, yes. Awesome. Great. I've got a geocaching buddy for the day. If she's like, no, I don't want to force it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to do that, because if you start forcing, you're going to go geocache with me right now, if you like it or not.
Right now.
Put your boots on and get your cache. And, if you start doing stuff like that, then they will start disliking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to go. You're going to force me to go, like a while ago, I went out and went caching. And when I got home, the kid asked, "Where have you been? Where'd you go?" I was like, "Oh, I went out geocaching." "And you didn't ask me?" I wanted to go. And I was like, "Oh, geez. Okay. I'm so sorry." So now I make sure every time I'm going to go out, I'll, ask her to see if she wants to go. And if she wants to go, awesome, great. If not, I'm not going to force her.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's kind of the key to all the family geocaching, right? It's not work. It shouldn't be a job. It should be going here fun and having fun with it.
Mm-hmm. And I remember, like, when we first started off, there'd be times where she would find them before I would, because I'm reading the description. Okay, it's this, that. Let me read the hint. Oh, it's on the sign. And then she was short enough to, like, walk up under the sign and, like, here it is.
Like, sure it is.
It's like, awesome, great, thanks, kid.
Yeah, way to go.
I've even sent her up in some trees. She wanted to go climbing. I'm like, yeah, go climb that tree. We've got
that tree like twice.
Climbing video.
Yeah,
Mimi for Cache's video, and she went up.
That is the best geocaching tool you can have. A kid.
Mm-hmm.
Forget tweezers. You don't need a ladder. You don't need any other stuff. You have a kid that can go with you. They can do a lot of stuff.
Styled up a tree. Get that cache.
Now your wife, we talked about before when we talked earlier this week. She will come along. She'll let you go find a cache. She's and all that, but she's not really. What's that?
Yeah, you can find one cache and that's it. No, like sometimes she'll be like, hey, it's like today. It's a nice, beautiful day. Let's go to a park. You want to go find a geocache? Yeah, sure. Let me take a look, and I'll look at the map and see if there's a new park we can go to that we haven't been to before. See if there's caches in it. I'll try and check ahead of time to see if people have found it, if people haven't found it, maybe the difficulty and terrain. And okay, hey, here's this park we haven't been to. A couple caches there. Let's go ahead and try that.
Right.
Because again, just like with Hinako when she was smaller, you don't want to impose it on people like, hey, we're going to go out and go find a cache, and you'll kind of build it off of that. You want to kind of have it set to when you go to a location and you're doing stuff. Oh, hey, while we're here, let's just get this or look for these in this park. Unless they're, like my geocacher friends, like this, go out there and just cache,
right.
Family members that aren't really into it or friends, don't impose it on them. Don't make it a big burden. And if you get out there and you can't find the cache, don't spend a half hour of your time trying to find the one thing when you could be like just looking, oh, can't find it. Let's just continue on. I'll come back and get it later, Don't, make it a burden on people.
Yeah. I think that, that's extremely wise. And I think that us that are like really into it, I think that we need to have different modes that we can switch into.
Mm-hmm.
I have kind of a mode with the wife where she likes geocaching, but she's like, she wants to take flower photos. That's her thing.
Yeah.
So I don't, she wants to do more of that than, it's like, so I work it, like you said, so that we can do these together, but I'm not going to force her to do some sort of power run. If I'm with Jesse, he and I can go all night and all day, and not stop or, barely stop, but we know that. Therefore, we can go at it differently.
Well, yeah. When you're caching friends, that's what you want to do. And, while your wife is like taking pictures of flowers, hey, while you're doing that, you're looking behind this stump.
Yeah. Well, she knows.
I'll look for flowers behind this stump. Oh, I found a cache.
For us, we're good because she'll want to find them too. So what I try to do is I'll take an initial look, and if I happen to see it, she's so much better at it than I am. So I usually have to look for a while, and she'll walk up and go, "It's right there," and then she'll go back to her photos.
My wife has done that too, so she's found a couple where
was that?
Looking and what's this? Oh, thanks, honey.
Yeah. All right, gonna intersperse in again. Hinako, don't be embarrassed, but I'm gonna show a little bit more.
She's gonna get older for each one.
Oh my God.
No, not quite yet. We're getting to that.
Like a giant capsule.
We will get there, but not quite there yet. So, but I do have one at the end. We're going to show that.
Open it up. Check it out. So here it is. See this, and you think, "Hey, the geo." But then, as you can see, there's a lock on it. So when I found this, I thought, "Wow, hey, cool! This has to be the geocache." And then the kid, she looked over at the fence and saw, what did you see? She saw the key. So then she was asking, like, "Dad, what's this key for?" And I was like, "I don't know. Why is there a lock on here then?" Why not use the key on the lock? Let's see if that opens it up. And the key stretches out, goes into the lock, opens it up.
Yay.
And you pop that open. And then, yeah, you get nothing interesting inside. But hey, you know what? You open up the cache at least. Okay, so this cache here I thought was pretty cool. The way that it was.
What's funny about that is that, and I think maybe not all kids, but I think all kids go through sort of a phase where, I don't know, Hinako, if you went through this too, but you don't care that there's a logbook. You want to know, like, what's in here.
What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the
The cool swag.
Yeah. Do you remember the days of trying to figure out if there's something of interest inside of a cache? Or
Yeah, I remember days when I would just go to geocaches just to see if there's any cool swag that I could take and add to my collection of randomness that I have.
She's got a little box of stuff. So
yeah. I think that I have a friend who he has grandkids, and he's always, when we go caching, his pockets are full of little random stuff. They're usually like coins from other countries, or that's his thing he likes to give out. So he collects a lot of that. But when we go to a cache, I mean, no matter almost any kind of size, he wants to put something in it because he's always thinking about if there's somebody out there with their son or daughter or grandkids or whatever, there's at least something for them to possibly trade, or, you know,
like
there's some really cool swag out there.
Oh yeah. Go ahead, Rich.
No, I said like that's like a payoff, a reward, especially with children, because they kind of see that and maybe expect that. You know, if you take a child out and you're finding just nanos under park benches all day long, chances are they'll be like, again. But if they find something, then there's like cool prizes and they can learn the value of trading things.
Absolutely.
That could be a nice payoff for them to win, like the next time. Hey, you want to go caching? Yeah. Let's grab some swag and let's see if we can trade or, you know, find when we go out. So that's a definite plus. So I much respect to that guy for doing that.
Yeah. All right, got another part of this. So, and then we'll something similar to what we were just talking about.
Tater's pretty kick ass.
BRoll.
Yeah, BRoll. Hinako's like, oh, great, more BRoll. Golly.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, oh, we have to film BRoll again, Dad.
Like, I'm going to set the camera up. We're going to go down here. I'm like, oh, gosh, okay.
You gotta go past it, then run back and get it.
Don't look at the camera. Don't look at the camera. Don't look at the camera.
Look out to the side. Pretend it's not there. It's not there.
Okay, now this might seem and look like a regular cache container.
Dun, dun, dun.
But it's got
that was the coolest cache.
Yep, let's go ahead and open it.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
That was
cool. It lights up.
It was an amazing cache. We still have the tubes from that stuff.
And then there's vials inside
it's
it
in
too.
He's got her interest.
And then they even included a camera so you could take pictures of you finding and discovering this cache. And
that cache has been long archived, and it's sad.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's sad.
Sad. And of course, you also have your logbook. And
you don't come across caches like that very often.
Yeah, this is the tube from that. Nice to have my tube as well too.
It really added to the story a lot. To me, that was the big selling point on making this one of my favorite caches. We're leaving some Pokemon cards.
The duplicate ones.
Or duplicate.
Imagine if every cache you came across was at least that cool. You would never stop caching.
Exactly.
From this.
That had a cool story to it too. There was like a whole story about like a virus that was going on, and we were at an agent. You had to go out and try and find this container and find the container. And there's a and we're opening up the thing that was in it. What was in the test tubes? What's in the tubes?
There you go. Yeah.
And a friend of mine, it's a, I forget, but I think it was something. It was from a book. I would have to like look up the Facebook message he sent years and years ago about it. But it's a paragraph from a book, a book on nature or something like that. But the whole story behind the cache of this virus, COVID, and you had to go out and find this, the cure for it and procure it and to bring the cure and save everybody type of a story to it. Was especially when you open it up and the light would turn on and had a green glow to it. It was like. What was it? Sigma 7 or something like that. I think the name of the cache is. It was was down in Bellevue. If you're the cache owner who had that cache, thank you. That was an amazing cache with just the story and everything to it.
Those are great. Stuff like that is great.
Yeah.
And sadly, there are probably still people that did not favorite that cache. Like seriously.
Yeah, and even the walk to it was an amazing place because it's
you've
never been to before, and it was like. This place is beautiful, and then you kind of got into the story of like you're out in the jungle trying to find this magic cure for everything. It was really great.
I mean, that's Teresa will know what was in the test tubes. Is there?
Yeah, we showed the paper there.
The paper, okay.
The paper was in the test tube.
And each container test tube had one of those things in it. I've got mine down in my swag ammo can of stuff I collected in many years of caching, and it was that cool for us where it's like, oh, we all both need to take a tube from this thing. It was so cool.
Right. So Hinako, is that thinking back on things like that, do you think that parents that do have kids, I mean, that's obviously something that you would probably want to try to think through. Is that you want to really look for those kind of caches that you think for kids? Or do you care that it's?
I care more about the adventure to the caches as well. But when I was younger, I probably was more influenced by what's in the cache instead of what was around me during that time.
Right.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So in that case, this was like a combo thing because you had cool story, which may not have necessarily been like may have meant more to Rich than to you, but it looked like where it was placed, though, made it such a cool location for a cache.
Yeah, it had a jungle vibe to it. There was a valley ravine with a little creek and like a little waterfall. And as I said, it's a place we had never been to before.
Yeah,
and just going down to it, I think I maybe might have shown more B-roll footage of the actual train and stuff in that video. If you can find it, it's our favorite finds video, early ones. Yeah. But yeah, we even went back to that park a few times after finding it because I wanted to take my wife there to show it to her. So we went there again after that. And I think we went there like a couple times because like her swimming, I think at the time was not too far from that. So we would go back to it and just kind of like walk around the trails and see what else we could find out there because of that cache.
Okay, cool. You think it's in the favorite finds video?
I think that was in our favorite finds. Or It's been so long.
I hear you. That's why I thought it was
all the memories kind of go together.
A blast from the past. Tell me if it's this one. And that's why we're here. So we'll.
I think that was from the one that you showed with. I don't know. I would have to look for that one again. Yeah. That was. Keep going forward in time. Forward in time. Keep going forward
through the video.
Right here.
Keep going.
Up in the tree?
No.
We did that one. We did that one.
Because that's when we found. Okay, there we go. This place here. Yes, this place here. Okay, yeah, cool. Our favorite finds at the top there. So check that one out.
When it takes me to an area that I've never been to before, someplace that's truly amazing, such as this park here out in Bellevue, Washington. Now, we've never been out to this park before here. But,
wow, that's a nice view.
We have these nice little lookouts here. We can look down into this ravine.
Nicely built.
And I bet you this place is going to be awesome in the fall time when we get more rain coming through here. Probably have a nice little stream going through there, maybe a waterfall going from that direction there. But again, the thing that brought us out here was this geocache. Not only did it bring us out to this cool location here, but the geocache itself is pretty dang cool. One of the things that makes some geocaches stand out from others is when there's a story added to it, something that makes it more exciting other than running out to a location and finding something in a rock wall or under a skirt in a parking lot. The person who put this cache together, put a cool story to it, and wait till you see the container. The container's pretty kick-ass.
So then that's where you found
and then BRoll, kid.
B-roll.
Yeah, how much B-roll have you shot over the years?
Not enough.
No.
not enough. You can never have too much B-roll because
that's your opinion.
Yeah.
I wonder if that would be. I wonder if she would agree with that.
Conflicting ideas here. And that was like another thing about doing these videos is I don't want to take up too much time filming stuff because if we want to go and find, if it's going to take like a couple hours to find a bunch of caches and then you're filming B-roll between everything, that 2-hour caching trip's going to be like 3 to 4 to 5 hours so you have to kind of just time it right of, I'm going to run up ahead, put the camera down, just walk past, grab it, run up to the next thing, or we'll find a cache. Okay, let's see what's inside. Okay, now I'm going to film you putting the cache back. Now go ahead and take the cache out so I can use that as the reveal when you find it. So fix it all in post.
Right.
It's funny.
All right, I got another one to show, but I need to skip the ads. So
I like what Dyer says there. Under a skirt in a parking lot? Oh, my. Yeah, that kind of came out weird. I meant like under a lamppost skirt, but whoops.
So
Hinako might have seen, I don't know if she's seen the whole part of this. She filmed it, but let's see if
do you remember?
She's like, I don't
You
remember.
need to watch these things.
Not the older ones, because the older ones are all old.
Yeah. So here we go.
You need to watch
This was from WorldWide CacheCon.
Oh yeah, this was awesome. The Family Guy parody thing.
Yeah, that was from one to another, same person. This is
the one that they did, Return of the Jedi. Their the thing that they did.
There's Craig. Cache Canada.
I like this.
Yep. Geoart.
Geoart, yay! Family Guy.
Jason. Jeff, he's in the chat room. Jerry, yep. Charles.
Pathfinder.
There's sure Drum a lot. I love his look. He's like, yep.
That was like my favorite one.
And the cat
and
goes,
my cat.
yeah.
The cat.
We had to look here, it's food.
Yes.
So she's the one controlling everything.
Exactly. Was that y'all's cat?
Yeah, that was our cat. We had it here earlier.
Yeah, we just saw your cat.
That's
gonna go.
Same kitty.
Yeah. Hellmeister.
Meg.
Geoart. Dave and Karen. I like Karen stares at the camera. It's pretty funny.
Just watching TV. Mushrooms. Brent.
Tim Rebel.
Billy Bob.
Billy. Back to Neil. Yep. That's pretty funny. And then there they are.
Yay, finished.
Yay. This is we'll call her grown up Hinako. So
yeah.
This is just like a
What is it?
like a year
That's a Geo.
and a half ago. It was like right before
kid.
before they canceled out the block party. Because I filmed this for the block party event that we were going to have. The 2020 block party.
right. And then there's the cache.
This was great. Had to pull it out, then push it back in. Oh, I had again film from different angles.
Don't spoil it. Gosh, Rich.
Yeah, nobody saw this when it came on.
Come on. Get that stuff out of there.
I'm trying my best.
Okay, here. Let me try.
She's very excited, but she's also not wanting to. She's busy right now. Yeah, she's not looking. It made for a good video. Come on, Hinako. You gotta realize.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of chain. I mean, come on.
We got 100 feet of fun. 100,000 feet.
Seriously, bounce. How many hundreds of feet did you put into this?
Oh, bounce.
Jeez. Such a kidder, that guy.
100 feet?
100 miles.
The comments are great too. I love you. You guys doing that together is funny. It's super fun to do.
Kid, I'm tired. It's up to you.
Fine. I'll do this.
Go for it.
She is not. Oh my gosh. It's like 1,000 miles long. Oh.
Found it.
Found it.
See, kid, this is why I like caching with you. You can find the caches for me.
Thank you.
And thank you, Bounce, for hiding this awesome gadget cache. It's really cool. When I came out and first found this thing, I was really surprised that, like, there's actually 100 feet of a chain here.
Fine, I'll do it.
Of course, because of the name of the cache and everything. But the way it's all constructed, the way it's all put together, this is fun. It's a simple, easy cache to find.
Simple. Easy.
Simple.
It's a easy cache to find if you got lots of time.
It's like,
and an extra kid to bring along with you there to pull your chain. That's what she does.
I love her.
This is a great cache. If you're coming out here for the geocaching block party, I advise for you to find as many bounce gadget caches as you can, because you can see we had lots of fun finding this one, and we know you'll have lots of fun too. Did you have fun with this, kid? Was this mixed feelings? Oh.
We're all positive.
We're all positive. There you go. We all hope that you're having a great time out here in the Seattle area for the geocache block party. And until next time, cache on.
We ain't running away from the camera this time.
I can't run away from the camera because I'm holding it. Cache on.
That's hysterical.
That's good. So it's funny, and Hinako, you're laughing a little bit when you're watching these videos, even though you kind of know and remember all these. How do you tell your friends about this game?
Or does she?
Or do you? Yeah, I guess. Or do you? I mean, you can't keep secrets, so.
I don't really tell them. Well, like, some of my friends know about geocaching because when they hang out with me, and if my dad's along, he'll want to find a geocache, so I have to explain it to him.
He's going to look behind his stump.
But the friends that never really like interacted with my dad or hanged out with me with my parents, I don't really talk about geocaching with them because I don't feel like they would really care enough to really, listen about going outside and finding a Tupperware container or something out in the woods.
Yeah, there was Emily. Remember Emily when we went whale watching?
Yeah.
We have a whale watching video where we had an extra ticket and we took a friend of hers.
Right.
And when we got done with the whale watching, there was a Jasmine qualifying cache not too far away from Anacortes. So when we were done whale watching, I was like, okay, you're with us. You have to go out with us to find this cache. And her friend was like, okay. And the walk out to it almost killed her. She wasn't like it wasn't like an outdoorsy type of a person, and the trail was like a little rough. But we managed to get out there to it and find the cache, and she even like pops up at the end. Oh, she was also on the Halloween video too. Remember the Halloween video? Yeah. So her friend pops up at the end where she's like doing trick or treating in downtown Bothell, and of course had to go find a cache.
Yeah.
So a few of her friends or your friends are aware of it. How do you think, if you're really going to try to convince somebody that it was cool, how do you think you'd do it?
Probably take them out to one of my favorite geocaches, or probably the ones that involve actual exercise, like going hiking or just walking on a trail for a really long time just to find like one geocache. But it's my favorite one. We have to go find it.
Yeah. Sharing your experience with the best one, because if you show somebody a typical rock wall cache, guardrail cache, or lamppost cache,
right?
What, this is what you do for a hobby? Okay. Yeah, but if you're out in the woods or something, because it's like Monte Cristo, a hike that we did, going on 2 years now. I want to go back out to Monte Cristo again, even though I found all the caches. I want to go walk out there again because the views are so amazing.
Right.
It's a beautiful place. Yes, there's like a dozen caches that you can find, but I know I could bring people with me, and I'm planning on bringing them with us that aren't cachers, to where I know they would enjoy the hike and walk and stuff out there. And I think something like that would be great to show them, because it's an amazing place that it brought us. And the caches are actually pretty cool too. So to show them that and what it can also, bring things together, it's going out and seeing locations and mysterious places and ghost towns.
Yeah.
Would be a good payoff for them. And then they can find out later on about, lamppost caches and things like that.
So, do you feel like that you'll, after you're out from under the parents, do you feel like you will still cache some, or do you feel like that it'll fade away, or do you think that you'll try to combine things that you do, like kind of like your dad's talking about, where maybe if your hobby is maybe travel, that you'll like say, well, the main point is we're going here, but we might look for a cache too. I know one of my sons and his wife, when they travel, they don't find a lot of caches, but he tries to find at least one. They went to Hawaii, which is, a great trip in itself, but they wanted to find a cache. They didn't want to find, like some people, dozens of caches like I might want to do or whatever. But do you feel like you will still want to do some caching when you're older, do you think? Or
I would, but I don't want to make my own geocaching account after everything that I've done with my dad already, because I don't want to
re-enter them all. And
it'll be okay, basically.
Here's a fun story, because way back when we were in like the 1000s of finds, I asked her, like, hey, if you want to go ahead and start up your own account, let's do it now. And this way we can just go through and put the finds that we have to what, yours, and we can, then you can continue on with that. And she was like, this is, of course, years ago, a little bit younger and not mindful of what she said. She was like, well, when you die, I'll just go ahead and take over your account.
Awesome.
My child.
That's funny.
I'm not going to take your account.
Oh, that's funny.
So do you kind of mentioned it already, but and this may be different for both of you, but do you have a favorite geocache, like an all-time favorite geocache? Is it the same, or do you each have your own favorite?
You can mention hers.
Yeah, she mentioned one, but
I don't really have like a favorite because I can't remember the cache names sometimes. I just remember I went hiking and I found a cool cache, and that's one of my favorites. So I would say my favorite caches that I found were probably the ones that involved like hiking or walking on a trail and seeing the beauty of nature at its finest.
Yeah, we went to GCD like twice. And we the Monte Cristo hike, as I said, as I mentioned, it's like one of my favorite hikes. I would say favorite caches would be like bounce caches. Yeah. Just because, gadget caches, you can't go wrong with a good gadget cache. So I'd say things like, the caches like that, the gadget caches are some of my favorites. And of course, the Monte Cristo hike.
Yeah.
You like Monte Cristo?
Monte Cristo was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like she leans towards hiking and you're leaning towards some more of the gadgets. So it's impossible to say one favorite cache. If you've been caching for a while, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, because like the thing about the mountain caches of the hikes is that you have to, you can't really just, hey, let's go ahead and find this cool cache out here, because you have to take a whole day.
Right.
But it's like I like those because of the experience. But then if you want like a cool cache to show somebody, you've got, check out this gadget cache. There's a few around that I could take somebody to within like about 30 minutes, and we have an amazing time checking it out. Like is Scott No High Videos, is he in this group here? No. But when he came into town to visit for Ape Cache 2018, I think, we met up and he's like, hey, let's go find a webcam cache. We went out to webcam cache that I hadn't found out in Redmond. We did that. And I was like, oh, you got to check out this cool gadget cache. And we went to Bounce's 520 Hotel Travel Bug Hotel cache. Right. That has been archived and now replaced, but I took them to that so they can see like the cool gadget caches we have out in this area.
Did you do the Ape Cache with Joshua, or was he?
Yeah. Josh came for GeoCoin Fest, so we teamed up with him, and then he was with the tour of us with the Germans. Was the Germans, and they went around and they came back for the Ape Cache. Yeah. And then we teamed up with Joshua for that. So we saw him, and then that's like a week later, he was back in town, and then we teamed up again and made a hike through the Ape Tunnel in October, or the train tunnel in October.
Yeah, right.
And that was all sorts of fun. If you have a chance to go geocache with a geocaching vlogger, I do recommend it. So
absolutely,
caching with that guy, he's a riot.
Yeah. He's okay. He's an okay guy.
Yeah, so low energy though. He's always depressed, and sad, and quiet.
He's kind of quiet,
Then
he turns the camera on, and it's like somebody flips a switch. Hey!
Yeah.
No, it's funny that he's exactly who he is, whether the camera's on or not. So that's
exactly,
yeah. Ape Cache, that's a good one. That's hard, but I would still struggle to limit it to one favorite for sure. Mm-hmm. Just the ones you described, it's hard to even choose between those.
Yeah, I really can't, because I think of one and I think of another. I can think of the best places again, Monte Cristo, then GCD, even though I hate the hike back down. But when you get up to the top and you see the views, it's like, this is amazing. Monte Cristo is easy. I recommend that for anybody. There's a Jasmine qualifying cache at the end, and the trail out there follows a old railroad and road that used to go to the ghost town that's out there. So it's
nice.
It takes 2.5 hours plus to walk it.
I have to cross that one.
Yeah, and there's a log you have to walk across to get across the, like a little river there. But it's an easy walk, and it's, 2.5 hours in, you sit around there for about an hour or so. You find the caches, you eat lunch at the ghost town, and 2.5 hours back, and boom, done. You have yourself an amazing adventure, and the views are just worth it. Right. You can go out there and not find the caches and not care. The views are amazing.
Right.
And I will always remember that. In fact, we're going to try and go out again this summer, as I said, like inviting people and things.
Right.
We're going to try and go out again this summer because I want to see those places again. I want to see those views again.
Yeah.
Thank you, geocaching.
Right.
Yeah, no kidding. That is the best.
Yeah, it's interesting. As you were talking about those, I was watching the two of y'all interact, and I think it's, for me, it looks like there's really a combination for Hinako and for you that there's both where you're going, but also it seems like that it's who you're with. Also, the fact that you're able to take people with you that can enjoy it, so you kind of enjoy it together. So it makes an experience together. You can talk about it. I think that's important. Down as kids grow up and they start to go do their own thing. I think there's often though. I think the thing we can remind them of is that, hey, you might not care about the numbers, or you may not care about the generic cache, but take your friends and go to the cool caches, because you get to do it. Not only do you find either a cool type of cache or a cool place, but you get to do it together with your friends or family.
Yeah, because like when I was growing up, we used to go camping on the weekends. We had a camper. We had a nice camping ground that my grandparents owned.
Right.
We had motorcycles. That was our summer weekend thing when I was her age and younger. We don't have that now. We don't have a camper. I don't have motorcycles. We don't have a trailer to go haul things out into the woods and tear stuff up. So this is kind of my way of trying to be outdoorsy and adventurous, like what my dad used to do with me. If my dad was still alive and I was to show him, geocaching, I'm pretty sure he would be all over it, especially ones out in the woods and the wilderness, because he loved that stuff. He always dragged us kids out into the woods, go camping and stuff. And, I think if there was caching involved at that time, I maybe might have enjoyed the time. But, I look back at those times with my dad, my mom, and my sisters and aunts and uncles out camping and stuff. And, I now think back on that, like, wow, that was fun. That was a good time. And why was I complaining as a kid? I would love to do that stuff now.
Yeah.
The closest we've got is, all right, kid, let's go hiking out to a ghost town, things like that, trying to get her out, exercise, and explore and see nature, that type of a thing. So
KC11 points that out. Love the adventures that those type of caches take you on, because there's that so many times. I think, and this is something else that we all need to remember, is that we kind of don't think twice about it. It's like, whoa, there's a cache that is getting a lot of favorite points. I don't know why it's getting favorite points, but there must be a reason. And then when you get out there, you're like, oh, I didn't know this place was even here. I mean, this is like, there's no, my wife and I found places that are like, why is this anything? And you get there and you're like, oh my gosh. I mean, it's not on a tourist map.
Surprise.
It's not on it's not in a, a vacation guide, but yes, it's a cool place and people just don't know about it, except for the people that know about caching, because there's a cache there and people go out there and it's like a great experience.
Exactly.
And it's memories, right? I mean, 20 years from now, whether geocaching is your favorite hobby or not, you'll remember that time, when you're a kid, you had a family time and you got to go geocaching. You probably won't remember that time where you stayed at home and just watched TV all night. You're probably not going to remember that 20 years from now, but you'll remember, tromping through the woods or finding fake gum under a, park bench, or all these weird things that you do geocaching where you really shouldn't reach your hands a lot of time, but we do it anyway because we're cachers, and you'll remember those things in the future. You know, that'll be something that's always, at least I hope my daughters do in the future. They remember that, even if it's one of those, my dad was wacky. He made us like look for trash in the woods all the time. I don't know what he was doing, but we had fun doing it, you know. But
and I think with like the videos, I think it's kind of like a memento, like something when I pass on. Hopefully not for like hundreds of years from now, but something that, because I have really nothing to show my dad for my daughter. I don't, there's like some home videos like shot when we're out snowmobiling and stuff like that, and that's it. Maybe pictures. Hey, here's a picture of me and my dad fishing or riding a motorcycle. With these videos, it's like she'd be sitting down with her kids and like, oh, let me tell you about my grandpa, or let me tell you about your grandpa. Let me show you what we used to do, and then they could see that. The adventures we went on or things that we did. So I think, which is why I sometimes leave a lot of extra junk in my videos where, I can trim out things, but it's like jokes that my kid and I, get
right.
Something that she can like watch later on and be like, oh yeah, that was awesome. That was great. Yeah. You show this to, her children or whatever. So,
yeah.
So there's that too.
Yeah, no, that's funny. That's awesome. Yeah, there's times when we don't think about it, but later on, we kind of come back to it. Go, you know what? That was memorable. It's something that I'm glad we did. You know, and I'm kind of like you. I wish my dad was around who could experience some of that, because he loved getting outdoors when he could. He worked crazily because that's what he was taught as a kid. You work really hard, and if you don't take any time off, that's okay, because you're supposed to be working really hard. And so I hopefully I've taught my kids well to do both, work hard, but also
play hard.
To play hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so I think that's something as we get out and geocache with our kids, and that is, or grandkids or whoever, hopefully we're instilling some of that idea in them that, it's more than just Tupperware in the woods. There's something more to it. There's more.
Yeah, it's the time together,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, sometimes you have conversations like she and I, just talked about things on the way out to a cache. And it's like, what's going on in school? And what about your friends? This and that. And then, sometimes it's easier doing that because there's no distraction around when you're at home. Hey, kid, it's like, oh, she's talking with her friends, or I'm watching TV or playing a game or doing artwork or something. And then you got like all these distractions around. But when you're out caching, it's you, them, and maybe the cache you'll find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and and Jesse will speak to this, but his oldest daughter, 21, and she'll still get out and want to go caching, right? Sometimes.
Yeah, she'll go with us. I mean, obviously it's, she's doing her own college thing, and she's an athlete, and she has to work and everything else. But when we get together, so last year at the very beginning of the year, so she's, a college cheerleader. So she has tons of stuff she has to do. Right. But at the very beginning of the year, she was going through her national championships, and we went down to Florida to visit with her and, watch obviously and cheer on to the family stuff. But we kind of timed out a milestone. So we got to do a milestone with the family all together, all in one location, because she's grown and out of the house now. Right. And then at the very end of the year, we were able to time it together again, where for New Year's Eve, we all got to be together again and hit another milestone. So the whole year encompassed both ends of it were milestones that family did. And, it was really neat to get to do all that. So,
yep.
And she's grown. So she has a choice. She can do whatever she wants, but she's hanging out with us and gets to have fun, we get to have fun. It's kind of that wacky thing she does when she gets with her family right now. So, no, absolutely not. You know what? And if she just enjoys doing it and it's only like a family reunion type deal, I'm still happy. She still goes out with us and we have fun, right? She doesn't have to be a crazy geocacher, but she could do it. She can talk to her friends. Some of her friends, probably have heard about it too. And the little one, we raced out this morning. So before the show today, we were sitting around and we hadn't found a cache in a couple days, and we got one of the notifications. Ding, FTF. We're like, ooh. We were doing something else at the time. We were watching TV even. TV, race out for an FTF. Well, so we raced out the door and we got it. So it's pretty cool. We hadn't done that in a while, and that's not something we do all the time, but it's fun, and it doesn't have to be every single day. It's an ongoing many-year family activity, right? I mean, every day is fun sometimes too, but it doesn't have to be every single day, every single time. But when it's fun, it's fun.
Yeah.
So I wonder what your daughter thinks of things like this.
Yes.
Are you happy your dad's learned how to illustrate, or is that kind of crazy?
I'm fine with it, really. I think it's cool that he's doing that.
That's cool.
She draws and stuff too. So
good. That's
so
awesome.
that was So I got her like an art tablet, kind of like what I have behind me here, like a display tablet, a visual display tablet, and a laptop, and there was Clip Studio Paint and other things we got like over the summer, and she's been drawn since she was like a little kid. I remember, in fact, when she was just a little tiny thing, I'd be sitting there playing around with Photoshop, coloring stuff in, and she's like, "I want to do that too." So she would sit on my lap, and I'd teach her how to press really hard, and the line gets darker or bigger, and like the sensitivity of the Wacom tablets and stuff, and showed her how to do that as a kid, and then she just kind of grew up like, want to do more. So kind of turned into her own little artistic machine there. So
that's awesome.
Very cool. Yeah.
I mean, that's something that obviously y'all both have together. Also you have other interests that are awesome. For those that don't know, Rich is doing some when he gets time, because you're not your full-time job, but you are doing some path tags. You did some there's a cool path tag you did.
For the Nano Kids.
Baker, the Nano Kids. Love that. Baker 6 Clan. That's awesome. Yeah.
The cache.
For whoever this guy is. I don't know who this guy is, but
I don't know. Somebody was like, "Can you draw me a picture?" And I was like, "Fine."
All right.
Gosh.
I have to. No, that's really cool. I think it's interesting. And again,
and for the audio people, you're just gonna have to go watch the video because we can't describe art. So
art's hard.
Check it out.
There's lots of lines and some pretty colors.
Yeah, some lines and some colors and patterns or something.
Yeah. Then there's this one. I wasn't sure.
That was
the hair and the.
Yeah, it's funny because we have a favorite band, a Canadian band called The Birthday Massacre.
Okay.
Odd name, but lovely music.
Hey, that's.
But we were supposed to see them in concert last year. In fact, actually, it would be a year today's date.
Oh wow.
Ago that we were supposed to have seen them in concert, and I paid extra money for like a pre-event to see the band beforehand.
Oh yeah.
And I made that. It's a big poster, so I could give that to them.
Cool.
And my daughter, Hinako here, she sculpted a Sculpey bunny, because the bunny there is kind of like their mascot item thing. It's always kind of like there on their album covers and stuff.
Right.
So she sculpted this bunny, and I had this big poster ready to give to him
no.
a year ago. Thanks, COVID. So we still have those things.
Yeah.
When we see them, we'll be like, "Hey,
yeah."
I wish everybody, the audio people, could see that artwork we just put up.
Yeah, that was
very impressive.
Sir Drummerlot is in the chat room. He mentions that he thinks your drawings are awesome. So
thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, that's neat that y'all you've kind of been able to do some of that together, and This is very cool. So, any other thoughts? We start to wrap up tonight. I want to.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask you about something before we run out of time. So we talked a lot about caching, caching.
Yes.
What about hiding caches? Now that's something that my daughters and I loved to figure out and learn from mistakes. We learned from a lot of mistakes.
Good caches, probably. I don't know if you guys
learned from it, but have y'all hidden any caches?
Yep, we've got some videos of us where we were like out trying to find or hide caches or find places to hide caches and things. So we do have some videos on those, and I've 20. No, I don't know how many caches we've hidden. I have like a whole bunch of weird series, like Laugh-In, the old comedy show from the 70s.
Yeah, oh yeah, I loved Laugh-In.
I have some Laugh-In themed caches. There's a whole series of Red Dwarf caches down in Brightwater. You all know Red Dwarf?
Yeah,
yeah. So we got that. We've hidden some recycled caches, just other random things.
Whatever you think I came up with when I was little.
Yeah. She had a cache based off of Five Nights at Freddy's. So there was that. Yeah. So she had her own themed cache that she wanted to put together. We have a spot for, and it's still going strong. All of our caches are still going strong. Cool. And we did a video of finding some adventure labs out at the Seattle Arboretum.
Oh, okay.
And this is kind of when geocaching headquarters was like, they're trying to get adventure labs back into the swing of things where they can give them out to people. So they gave specific people some adventure labs, like 10-stage adventure labs. So I have 2 10-stage adventure labs, one down in Bothell and one out at Brightwater. Everything's out in Brightwater.
Right.
And so, yeah, we've got quite a few hides out there for you all to find. So if you ever come out here for the block party, find our caches.
There you go.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's great. And I'm looking like her. We have a team account, getting back to your thing about, and I think that's now Jesse and them did a little bit differently. I know they have Memphis Mafia, but they also
we have a family account, and that's really our account, right? But we've technically my wife and both of my daughters have their own account. We don't use it for caching. We've only ever really used it for like they put a couple of them on there, but they don't. They've hidden a couple each, and they wanted to hide their own at one point. And then if we're going to a big event and they're all going, we'll each put in a will attend with that, just so it shows who's going to come.
Who's coming. Right. Accurate.
But they don't generally use it, and they don't have them. They just like Hiniko said, they're not going to go back and log all the caches that it's that we're many thousand in at this point. Yeah, we passed our 10,000 milestone last year, so we're not going back and logging those.
No.
But they, like when we went to Hawaii, they went back on their own account and they wanted to log that one single one on their account. So they've got one,
so maybe
states or whatever, but there's something really special to log it, but they don't want to log all the time because we cache as a family. We don't care about numbers. Everybody cares about numbers, but it's not that important for us to like break it all up. It's a family activity for us. So everybody has their own theory, everybody's right and wrong.
They can look back and they can see the souvenirs, like, hey, the Hawaii cache, hey, the Nebraska cache, or the map, and it gets all grayed in, or
the funniest thing, and Hiniko may recognize this, but I'll do it to my daughters every once in a while. I'll just go back randomly and pick one of the first caches we found, because we take a lot of pictures. And I'll just send them a random picture. Hey, remember when we did this? And they're like 11, and now they're grown and off in college. I'm like, hey, remember this? And I'll just text them a picture of one of those things. We basically have a family photo album since 2010 that's online. It's great because all of us and everybody, all my family members that it's spread to since then, we have more photo album pictures in there than we do in photo albums on a bookshelf, for sure.
Yeah, like every year, my wife wants me to put together the family photo album thing. There's a thing on Snapfish, I think it is, where you can put your pictures in. And and when I go in and put the pictures in, it's, why is it always pictures of you and her out geocaching?
When you take pictures,
that's what we do.
Hey, that's the fun stuff.
Right. Absolutely.
So it's geocaching is a big part of our lives. So yeah.
No, that's awesome.
It is. Yeah, it's a good. I mean, just bottom line is it's a good family activity. You know, however you like to play it, however you like to do it, however often, it's still a good, fun family activity.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yep. So I guess final thoughts. We'll go around the room and for wrap up tonight. So I think I've said everything I need to say. I love thank you two for coming on.
Yeah,
I appreciate you coming on. Absolutely. You know, it's always. I know. Hopefully, we didn't embarrass you too much, but I think it was. I think
not
it's good.
Enough.
Yeah, not enough. Yeah, she's like, no, you did plenty. You don't need to do any more.
Dad. I'll hear about it later.
Yeah, really. Thanks, Dad, for that. But
Thanks,
I do. I really appreciate you both being on. It really it means a lot to us and to everybody who's watching. We have a lot of people who watch and listen, so I think that's it's good because I think it hopefully gives a good perspective not only for parents, whatever they are, grandfather, grandmother, mother, father, whatever they are, aunts, uncles, whatever, and also the youth of whatever age they are, that geocaching isn't just, like you said, it isn't just the cruddy caches that we find sometimes that are not good. I mean, I think it's like you said, it's always good to remember the ones that were like, that one was cool. Yeah. And because of that one, I want to keep going. Let's find some more cool caches. And everybody out there who makes caches, go make cool caches that people of all ages, even, the teenagers that are be like, Dad, this is lame now. They might not see it as lame if you do something that's different and cool. Or gadgety. Yeah, gadgets are we joked about the 100 foot long, chain. Yes, it's supposed to be, and y'all goofed around with it, but hopefully once you filmed it and walked away, you're like, yeah, that was fun to do together. It was kind of a goof. It was goofy, and Dad made a dad joke, that kind of thing.
I do it all the time.
That's right.
Does it all the time, but still, the two of y'all together was really fun to do. So, anyway,
I would echo the same thing, and I don't want to belabor the point, obviously, but we've kind of beat it to death tonight. But caching with the family is awesome, and Rich going out with your daughter, and doing the caching and taking the time to spend those experiences or whatever is huge. It'll pay dividends later on. And Hinako, if your dad doesn't tell you enough, he's really, really happy that you're going out caching with him. He's not going to get all sappy, or maybe he will, or whatever. But I promise you, from one dad, speaking for all the dads, we love it when our kids are going out and doing that and spending that time. And it'll mean stuff for many, many years. Whether you do it when you get out of the house and when you're a famous artist traveling the world and all that other stuff or not, you'll always remember these fun times that you were hunting for trash in the woods. So,
yeah. See, you actually said they weren't trash; they were treasures.
See, perfect.
That's right. If there's trash, you would carry it out, right? And clean it up. So, no, it's perfect and it's awesome, and it's so cool that y'all get to share geocaching and art. You're gonna pay her off now. You wait till the show's over to pay her off.
But, I'm sorry, just wait till the show's over. My bad.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do it during the show. That's yeah.
But no, very cool, and the videos too. Like you have cool videos, so that's something you get to share and everything else. And if Hinako ever gets too famous, you can always bring those back out and go, "Hey, I'm just saying, remember the time that you were out there with me."
All right, famous person, see if you can find this cache in the woods.
That's right.
All right, tell us what y'all's final thought is tonight.
Final thought, Chad just came in and said, "Hey, what did I miss?" Chad, you missed us talking about your caches. See right there.
Log on what I missed.
Yeah, it's just it's great just being able to share our experiences here. So thank you for bringing us on so we could share our caching experiences there to people, and hopefully people will have those same type of adventures and things with their family, friends, and loved ones. So hope that it continues on for others.
Very cool.
Absolutely. Y'all two are great. And again, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having us on. Appreciate that.
No, you're welcome. Yep, absolutely. Thank you again. And that is it.
And also subscribe to our channel.
Subscribe. It's in the show notes. Yeah. Check
absolutely.
out the kid. Check out their YouTube, Instagram, all that. Check out the show notes. I'll have them up here in a few minutes. And definitely go check out their channel and all of Rich and Hinako's work. That's awesome. So
yay!
All right. Well, here we go.
May your finds be many. DNFs be few. May the terrain and difficulty both be less than 2. And whatever it is you're looking for, may it find its way to you. And may we all meet again.
Folks, we hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. Please email us your comment at geocachetalk@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The show can be found on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Radio Public, or Spotify, as well as at the Geocache Talk website. Don't forget to click that subscribe button below and ring that bell notification so that you can see and hear the show on a weekly basis. And tell your friends about the show. Get them involved with us in the chat room. And until next week, don't just talk about geocaching, go geocaching.
We didn't get to show the shirts. Show the shirts real quick. There they are.
Yay. Are we still on?
Yeah, we're still on. There we
For
go.
like 3 seconds. So we got to show the shirts. There we go.
Yay.
On that
All
note.
right. Y'all stick around for a minute and we're going to wrap up. Night, everybody.